In this video, I'm going to show you how to understand the dashboard of the My Podcast portal on the World Podcast Network. You can see there's a lot of information here, and you can also look at everything else that's on the left sidebar. We give you a lot. So let's get into it. First thing, when you come in, you'll see Quick Stats. The Quick Stats will be the number of downloads of all time, page views, your votes, likes, comments, and your virtual stock symbol and information there. Now, let me just explain to you a few things. Downloads are when you actually get somebody downloading the podcast. It's usually on the phone. So when they click on the link, it will download it to the phone before it plays it. It depends on what the actual mobile device is for setting it up, but they can also just click the listen button, like the play button, and that might also count as either a listen or a download, depending on how their mobile device is set up. We don't control that, but we keep track of everything that happens, whether it's a download or a listen, and that's the number of downloads. Page views are the actual page views of your podcast, which is right here. So people can download the video, they can hit the play button, and you can actually get that information too. Now, I just actually gave myself a brand new view, obviously. Now, you can get votes also from your audience members. When you get votes, your podcast episodes get voted up, which is really cool because you know that you have a dedicated audience that's coming to the World Podcast Network. I've already gotten over 2,300 votes from my episodes, obviously from podcasters, because my podcast is about becoming a successful podcaster. So that works really well. Likes and comments we did have before 2025, but we had to revamp the entire engine. We just relaunched likes and comments last week. You can see that now my podcast has 7 likes, and I can unlike it, like it. If I unlike it here, and of course I'm liking my own podcast, I shouldn't be doing that. So if I reload, let me hit the continue button, you'll see right away that it does match exactly, which is great. Now, comments, you can get, I'm sorry for going back and forth, you can get comments from users, and there's another video here as well. So people can leave you comments, which is really cool. And when you get that, they stay pending. And then the podcast relations team will always approve them first to make sure that they're positive and they're not anything negative. So you don't have to worry about that. And that's how that works. And of course, this is your virtual podcast. If I click here, you can see this is what my virtual podcast looks like. And this is me as not only a podcaster, but a virtual stock, but also an investor as well. There are other videos on the virtual podcast stock exchange. And this is a great way for you to get more audience members, because your audience members or even new podcasts new audience members will find your podcast by depending on how well you perform on the actual ticker and the actual podcast market. So the virtual podcast stock market. I'm getting tongue-tied. You can see a list of all your traders. You can see your candlestick chart, how well your podcast is doing. You can buy and sell stock and more. But let's get back over here. Now at this point, you can see where you are on the leaderboard. There'll be another video on the podcast leaderboard, but you can see that right now I'm number 4. This changes every day. So I might be 4 in one day. I might be 25 in the next. I might be 1,000 another day. It all depends on what you do. There's a lot of information on how to rise on the leaderboard. So I'll save that for another video. Then down here, we have monetization opportunities. You can do host read ads. You can do podcast commercials. I'll explain all that in another video. You can play music and you can invite guests. You get paid for all of this. And if you log in every day, by the way, logging in every day gets you higher up on the leaderboard. But my logins don't count because I'm the CEO, so I don't really. It gives me a number here, but it doesn't really rank my logins because I'm logging in here every single day. You can see notes from me. So I give you notes all the time about, these are founder notes and what's going on the podcast and network and some really cool things. So I leave notes, founder notes, about 3 to 5 times a week. And I hope you tune in, you log in to read them all because I'm always updating them. And that's really, you can scroll down here and you can look at some other things as well. But for the most part, you can see a couple of videos of mine. And come into the dashboard and see all your quick stats. This is open for professional level podcasts. The free podcasters won't show here. So just to let you know that. So if you're a professional level podcast, you can see all of this information. And that's the dashboard. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments on YouTube, because this is going to be a YouTube video. You can thumb up this video. And if you have any questions, you can always just leave them in the comments or click the contact us link. You can actually go here. Let me go to the home page. Click right here to the contact form. You can leave us an email there. Okay, take it easy. And thank you for supporting the World Podcast Network.